What up, chat? It's your boy ThePowerXLofficial, and we're back again with another episode. I hope you guys are ready. We got a good one going. Doing more Pokemon, getting on with the pirate scene with the boys later on. That shit was fun as last night. So let's get into some video. We're gonna catch up on some news. You know how it is. I like to stay informed, you know, while we get settled in, while everybody shows up. Yeah, and we'll get into some gaming. Let's see here.
I
This
don't
is
think
big.
that we should ever stop complaining about it. Never
Yes.
stop complaining
Yes.
about the Epstein thing. Oh, here we go.
Yes.
We got Tucker Carlson talking about it too. Let's look at this.
The people
I'm
don't
appalled.
matter in this
I'm
case.
Man, I
pissed.
think this, for a bunch of reasons, it's so obvious, it is
Yeah.
salacious, people have followed it for years. The president promised to reveal the truth about
You know something else?
They said
Ever
that.
since this whole thing started getting to be a big deal, I've been seeing a lot more lizards lately. Like every time I go outside, there's like 2 or 3 lizards. Me too? Huh? That's crazy. Where are all them? Where do they all come from? I don't know.
this.
It's just crazy.
And
I don't know.
Bondi, as you
Guys,
said,
let's
on
see what we can
television,
do
so
here.
Have the truth, we're going to give it to you.
Yes.
Ooh.
I think this is kind of, I think this is a big
Abra.
deal. It's a really big deal. It's
Yeah, it is.
bigger. I hope so too, actually. So let's just assess this.
That's what I
They're
need.
covering up. The DOJ, the current DOJ under Pam Bondi is covering up crimes.
I think somebody's getting covered for. I think I do. I think that there is a 0% chance that nobody is like that. There's actually no leads. No fucking way, man.
Very serious crimes by their own description. Why are they doing that?
Yeah.
It's
So the-
Trump. No, if it was Trump, Biden, dude, they gave that guy 34 fucking felonies. They arrested him. They gave him a
Here we
mugshot.
go.
They did everything. If they could have gone after Trump, it would have been. They had 4 fucking years to do that. It could be Trump also, but it's a lot of.
really only 2
That's what I thought.
potential explanations that I can think of. Maybe you've got another. The
Yeah.
first is that Trump is involved. That
Right.
you know Trump is on the list.
That's what I
they've got
think.
tape of
Elon
Trump doing
said
something
that.
awful.
Yeah.
I don't believe that for 2 reasons. One, I've talked to Trump about it a lot.
So Trump said he wasn't on the list. All right, Tucker. That fucking settles it. Oh shit. Okay. Wow. Case closed. All right. Trump said he wasn't on the list.
And I know him. He's not that, for whatever his sins. I don't think he's that guy, actually. I don't think he likes creepy sex stuff. That's just my view.
I mean, but well, if he, I mean, isn't it weird?
That's
though,
the
that he made, like
judge.
a lot of comments about women. Didn't he make sexual comments about his own daughter when she's like 13? Like, I mean, I'm not like I'm not a
shit.
Trump hater, right? But like, I remember when that happened. Yeah, like, I mean, who does that?
Damn, bro. He's looking guilty.
It wasn't his daughter? Oh, that makes it so much better.
Yeah.
But moreover, more, I think, convincing is that this is all information that the
Yeah.
Biden administration had.
Uh-huh.
And if there was evidence that Trump had been involved in illegal sexual activity,
Yeah, that's this one makes more sense.
you think the people who made up Russiagate wouldn't have leaked it?
Exactly.
Come on
Yeah,
now.
they would have leaked it.
So the only other explanation that I can think of, again, maybe you've got another, is that intel services are at the very center of this story, U.S. and Israeli,
Wait, I gotta.
and they're being protected.
I
I think that seems like the
That's
most
the
plausible.
most obvious. They have a history of this. They're
Nope. I don't. I think they're both wrong. I think the reason why is that everybody inside of leadership, inside of all Western culture, leadership, fucking Great Britain, the UK, Europe, fucking France. Where are some of those other bullshit countries over there? Germany. All those like NATO, all the NATO countries, like Australia. I've heard of that one. Australia's
Yeah.
in Europe, right? I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. And so, and then America, right? I think that everybody is involved.
Yes,
I think they're all
that's what I
involved,
think.
and there is some form of third party, and it becomes increasingly likely that it is not Israel, but it is in fact China or Russia that has access to all of this data and information. And if one group leaks it without leaking everything, they will provide the full copy of everything that happened. That is the no
Bro,
fucking way.
this
No.
Pokemon's
That's
actually
it's clearly
lit.
Israel. The reason why I think that it's not Israel is because I think the Israelis were in on it. Bro, like they're calling each other first names, etc. Like really, like I think they were in on it too. So and they're a part of the Western world. So I think that it has to be logically right. And I think that like so. My second guess is Israel. My first guess is China/Russia. That's all. I'm not saying that you're wrong, okay? Like, that's still my second guess, and you could be right, but I think that it's one or the other. And there it is, or one of those three. And so that's the only reason why it could happen. North Korea, bro, no, it's not North Korea. Like, nothing's happening in North Korea except for people being on meth and getting killed. And so that's it. It's intelligence-based. It would destroy all faith in our systems and institutions. I disagree with you. I think that if we found out that all of this was happening and then all the people that did it faced trial, it would actually restore more faith than ever. Because that would be a degree of accountability. I think people for a very long time, and this has been going on, I think, ever since the Kennedy assassination. This is, again, like, I wasn't alive then. I know I'm old. I'm not that old. I wasn't alive then, but I think it's been going on since then that, like, as soon as, like, Lee Harvey Oswald just gets shot inside of the police station and he gets killed out of fucking nowhere, how the fuck does that happen? What are the odds, right? And he makes some shot from 1,000,000 miles away. And so I think ever since then, there has been a growing disillusionment that people have had with the with the government at large. And I think that it has gotten worse. Like, people think the moon landing was fake. They think Vietnam was fake. They think that us going to war in the Middle East was just for oil. They think Bush did 9/11 or Jews did 9/11 or, hey, why not both? And they think, yeah, all this stuff. And Vietnam, really? Yes, the Gulf of Tonkin, fucking yes, exactly. They said that's a false flag, 100%. So there is a massive amount of distrust in the government that exists at a macro level that is oppressive to all parts of government, and it makes people hate the government. The fact that they can't come out and just say, bro, this is what happened, these are the people, that is the exact opposite. Trust in the government, if you had to, like, fucking do a poll, I bet it is the lowest now than it's been probably in 50 years. Like, and maybe, like, I don't know, maybe, like, right after something, maybe it was slightly lower. But I would say, like, on an average, I think it is just simply... Is there a poll for this, actually? Let me see here. Poll Americans' trust in the government over the years. Let me see if I can find... No! Let me see the... I just want the images. Wow, okay, so I totally made this up. I completely made this up with literally no bearing, facts, or evidence whatsoever, and it turns out I was right. Yep, this is just a vibe. I just had a vibe. I was like, you know what? I think this is probably true. Yeah, it's 2015. Oh, you're right. Great point. Let's see, 2025, 2010s. What do we have? It looks like 2015. Looks like we're not
using fire.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe they stopped doing these polls. Maybe they're like, guys, shut it down. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so Hispanic ad. This is, I guess, one example of it. Let me see. Open image in new tab. So we've got right here Biden. I guess it went up slightly during COVID. I think this is just really a reaction to COVID and people wanting to be protected by the government by COVID. I don't think this really says a whole lot. COVID was lower. Yeah, but I think that really it probably went down. I think it's about right here right now. This is awful. It's real bad. 2023, how convenient. Makes no sense. Well, no, it does. Because anybody who expressed distrust in the government was suppressed and censored and shut down. So logically, it would make sense that the only people that you're seeing discussing this are people that are more positive about it. So yeah, the trust in the government is at an all-time low.
Been multiple documented cases of pedophilia inside of the CIA perpetrated by CIA officers, documented that in many of those.
If you know anything about history, you would know that Epstein is actually the first noteworthy person to ever be a pedophile in the history of mankind. Nobody in powerful positions ever did this in the past. This is the first time.
Got
That's
busted.
why it's such a big deal.
I believe over a dozen cases. This was a BuzzFeed news piece years back where the CIA specifically did not want to prosecute those individuals in federal court for fear that they would reveal sources and methods if they were pulled into open court. And they basically just made it go away. The only time they actually prosecuted somebody for child pornography was whenever he'd already being prosecuted for mishandling classified information.
Well, when they want to crash, they put kiddie porn in your computers. Why don't have a computer? Don't own one.
If you're an important person, you should be careful.
No computer in my house.
This is an
They're not gonna upload porn into my computer.
Wow.
important
Don't own
thing,
one.
though, is that we already have documented cases of them covering this up. I believe the CIA Inspector General, I forget the exact quote, but he said something along the lines of, you wouldn't even believe the amount of child porn, that I've seen while I'm on this job. I mean, these are depraved. Look, I mean, it's a large organization, a small percentage of the U.S., we can make that argument. I think there is like something pathological, kind of in the minds of the people who excel in this type of environment.
Of course, it's based on lying.
Yes.
Yep, and there it is. And don't you guys know own computers? Yeah, I guess not powerful being fucking get since day one. Yeah, exactly. It's too convenient for the U.S. For the narrative to elude multiple countries being at fault. Yeah, I think the people with most to lose are American. I think that you're absolutely right. You are 100% right. Let's listen to Ben Shapiro. This guy, he's a...
We now have the answers. And the problem is this. People who never hedged their bets, people who never at any point suggested...
I'm telling you guys, it's getting bigger. The hat that he wears, it's getting bigger. What is it going to be like in 5 years from now?
Bro.
Every single time that I see one of these, it's a bigger one. Is this like, his power level or something? What is this? Like Samson?
to you that they don't have data to back up the speculation, that the speculation was in and of itself the conclusion that if you speculate without evidence, that amounts to an actual conclusion to an investigation, they're going to be very upset today because it turns out that the DOJ and the FBI have concluded that Epstein didn't have a client list and died by suicide, according to a memo detailing the findings obtained by Axios.
That's what
now, again,
they said.
Does this put to bed like all inquiries? Of course not.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, okay. So he killed himself, and nobody did anything wrong. Oh wow. Well, that's yay, great. Okay, guys. I thought
convenient.
it was gonna be something bad.
People can continue to speculate as much as they want, and I think there's still open questions.
I do think that you're right. That I always wondered if like the guys that invented the idea for having this hat were just a bunch of guys that got together like 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, and they're like, yeah, so like we're all kind of going bald back there. So like, what if we make it like a fucking religious thing, or we put like a thing over it so nobody can see this shit, but it's like our religion, so nobody can say that we can't do it. Right? Like, because I feel like, what are the odds of that, right? What are the fucking odds? But yeah, exactly. And this is the fit. Yeah. But isn't that convenient? Damn.
Too
Here regarding
convenient.
how did Epstein make his money? But that's a very serious open question. The speculation for a long time was he made his money from blackmail. But the DOJ and the FBI, again, run by people like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, are telling you, I'm not telling you, they're telling you, people who are members of the Trump administration, people you elected and put into these positions.
I didn't elect Kash Patel. I didn't elect Pam Bondi. Trump put him in office. And also, like, I mean, I would have elected Kash Patel to FBI. I thought the guy was great. I did.
Yeah.
I just thought he was great. I thought he was awesome.
I did.
And then he gets in there and he doesn't do anything. He
Yeah.
doesn't fucking do anything. Like, I'm mad. I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We're gonna get changed? Well, I guess he changed his mind. Fuck.
Yeah, that's the only change we
To
got.
get you the truth on this matter are telling you that he didn't, in fact, he was not murdered. He did not keep a client list.
Yeah.
And he did not blackmail powerful figures.
Well, that's
Anyway, that is the thing that they are
So
saying. Not I,
convenient.
they are saying this.
yes.
If you're willing to throw that over and claim they're lying, then I'd like to see you present your evidence that they are in fact lying. Because
Okay, here's my evidence. You want my evidence? The fact that they said that they had tens of thousands of hours of child porn footage, but they were unable to release the faces or go after investigations to identify the people inside of those videos at all. That's the reason. That's it. It was just the girls. Nobody, you don't know that, and I bet that's not true.
I know Dan. I don't think that Dan Bongino is lying to me. I know Cash Patel a little bit. I don't think Cash Patel is lying to me.
Uh-huh.
I don't think these people are lying to me.
I don't know why Ben Shapiro is trying to put his reputation on trying to sweep this. I don't know why. Why would he do that?
Yeah, he's trying to.
Do you
He's
seriously
paid.
think it's Cash Patel or Pam Bondi? Obviously, if Trump wants it done, he would. Clearly, he doesn't. Well, I mean, they can't even, bro. Cash Patel can't even figure out a bunch of Reddit people figuring shit, like trying to blow up the president on Craigslist. They can't even figure that shit out. So no, I like.
Bro,
I mean,
they're
if
cooked.
if you can't even get Craigslist under control, you really want me to go and act like, oh no, they're working as hard as they can? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. They could be working harder. Epstein was owned by
Right.
Israel? Well, I don't know.
Which means that if somebody else continues to claim that they're lying, they ought to provide their evidence at this point. And
Yeah.
now is the point at which the facts on the ground have changed. And so either you ought to shift your opinion based on the facts that have now emerged, or
It's not the fact. No, you're wrong. These aren't the facts. These are the conclusions presented by facts that are not public. No, you have to take the conclusion of the investigation and then assume that the facts are legitimate and that other things weren't ignored. These are two totally different fucking things. What is going on here?
you ought to acknowledge that this was never a fact-based
Bro, they're
inquiry
trying
in the
to
first place.
It
fucking
was not
bullshit
a
us.
fact-based inquiry in the first place. Yeah, it was. It absolutely was. How do you have all of these victims? They can't identify anyone. The guy kills himself in jail. And also, by the way, I think that it's completely possible that Jeffrey Epstein actually killed himself. I do. And I think that, like, that's a red herring, in my opinion. Oh, did he kill himself or did they kill him? It doesn't matter, right? Because both points lead to the same problem, right? And so that's it. It's all too convenient. It's outrageous. It's a big
So
herring. Yeah,
convenient.
same result. Yeah, how do you have all these photos and all these videos, but you can't identify a single person inside of the videos? Get the fuck out of here. Suck my dick.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think that we should ever stop complaining.
That shit was amazing.
According to the Department of Justice, Jeffrey Epstein was not murdered, and there was no client list. Well, that's convenient.
A new Justice Department memo reveals
Yeah.
that the Justice Department has no evidence that convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful people or kept a client list or was murdered.
Same
in
shit with
prison.
Diddy.
The memo, first reported by Axios, is a sharp turn from the Trump administration's insistence that there was much more to uncover. Even Attorney General...
See, that's what it was, is that they should have never said that. Like, how is it that you said that, but there was nothing to look at? Because they played this up so fucking hard for years.
Pam Bondi pushed that theory while in office. Take a look.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
So it wasn't the files. She was explicitly asked about a list, and she said, it's sitting on my desk. It is referring directly back to the question about a list.
But today, the White House says she didn't really mean to suggest that the list itself was on her desk.
Oh no, I
She was
didn't
saying
mean
the
that now.
entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that.
Joining us now to discuss the
Bunch of bullshit.
Who the fuck believes this shit? Who the fuck believes this shit? Like, what are we doing?
Fuck are we doing?
What are we doing?
brother?
Like, it's
Brother.
semantics. Yeah, it's.
CNN's Evan Pettis and Axios' Alex Eisenstadt, who broke the story on Axios. And Alex, I have to say, I'm with the people that still have questions.
Yeah, I
about
think a
this.
lot of people
I kind
are.
of don't buy the nothing to see here, and I don't know that the Justice Department helped their case. They released this video. Let's show it. It shows no one entered the area surrounding Epstein's cell in the hours before he died. But there's something significant about this videotape. What is it?
Well, here's one thing that some people on
There's
the
a minute
internet
missing.
are picking up on, which is that there is about a minute missing between 11:58 p.m. 58 seconds and 12 a.m. the night that Epstein was apparently killed or died. And so
The official story is that he died by suicide. That's what then Trump Attorney General Bill Barr said
so we'll
years
just
ago.
died. And so now there are, it's going to intensify more conspiracy theories about what happened the night
Absolutely.
of Epstein's
bet.
death. And of course, you have the DOJ and FBI now, which are trying to extinguish a lot of these conspiracy theories, but that's not happened today online. If you look at the MAGAverse, they're inflamed about this.
Well, I mean, no
Yeah, I wonder fucking why.
offense to Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, but they had a hand in igniting some of these conflagrations. I mean, in February, the White House.
Yeah, they never had that. You did not have to go so hard about saying that it was going to come out if it wasn't going to come out or you weren't sure about it. So there's there are two outcomes that could have happened. Outcome number one is that they didn't actually know what they were talking about and they were just talking shit. Outcome number two is that they're hiding it. Both of them are awful.
House invited these conservative MAGA influencers to get a first look at the declassified documents related to the Epstein case. Look at that, all those binders. They gave them binders that said Epstein Files
there it
Phase
is.
1. And Evan, at the time, you
Apparently, there's only one face.
wrote that this is something of a self-own for the Justice Department. Why?
It's absolutely a cell phone. It is 100% a cell phone.
Absolutely was. Those binders, those documents in those binders, all of that was public for years. And that's what the influencers found out. When they opened it up, they're like, wait a minute, all of this stuff has been out there. And the Justice Department could have helped themselves and perhaps reduce the embarrassment if they had just picked up the phone and talked to some of the prosecutors in New York and some of the FBI agents who had done this case, and they could have told them all of this stuff has been out there. But you know why they didn't do that is because they fired all these people, so they didn't have anybody to talk to.
They could have asked them afterwards too. They could no, that's not it.
Yeah, you can't just explain that
because it
away.
made them look good. I think that's the reason why.
Oh yeah.
And so, this is something that they have absolutely fanned. And
So I agree with the questioning here. Does this make me a liberal or an independent since I voted for Trump? Can you guys please stop fucking trying to make every decision like? You don't have to label yourself. Sometimes, like, it's just, I really wish that I wish that they would take the Democrat and the Republican and the Independent and the Green Party and the Libertarian labels off of the voting ballots. So you don't have people that go in there and they just fucking straight ticket vote for a bunch of people. I think this is so, like, it's such a bad way to do things. It's good, yes. Just take that shit off. You don't have to be a Democrat to see that this is a fuck up. People are so attached to being completely 100% right or being completely, or the other side being completely 100% wrong. Nothing in life works that way. Literally nothing does. And so basically you're living in a lie.
That's a big true.
Stop trying to live in a lie.
Now they own this, and that is part of the problem here. And they've been struggling with what to do about this, Jake, for some time, because agents spent overnight shifts redacting these documents, and then what they ended up with were pages that were filled with blackout.
Yeah.
They cannot release it because it would re-victimize some of the victims.
Bullshit. Bullshit. There are all the times videos that are found, they're reviewed by crime investigations units. The crimes investigation units look and they identify the people that are in these videos, and then they go out and they find those fucking people. This happens constantly. This is bullshit. You don't have to publish it. You don't have to release the video, but you have to have somebody review the video who's part of the FBI or somebody like that and say, oh, I think I know who maybe this person is. You see what I'm saying? It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. They can censor faces. They can take, if you have the entire, like this is, let's say this is the frame, right? This is a person.
Yeah, you can censor faces, so I don't know why.
That's it. That's all you need to do. You don't need to fucking go and redo everything and publish the whole video. Nobody is asking for this. Nobody wants this. So what they're doing, this is what's happening, is that they are creating this false, it's like a straw man to argue against, where it's like, oh, well, of course we can't release the video. It's child sexual abuse. We don't want you to release the video. We want you to act on the people that were in the videos. Fucking duh. That's absolutely what it is. How is that possible? Yes, no one is asking for the videos.
Federal law, there's Privacy Act. So
bullshit.
That's
There's
what they
nothing
were
to do with
They
it.
were realizing that they were going to release a bunch of black pages that would have only fanned the conspiracy.
And Alex, a lot of people in the MAGA world are very
the whole thing. You can't redact the names. Why does everything need to be redacted, and not just the names? Who decides that?
Upset, very disappointed with Attorney General Bondi, very upset with the director and deputy director of the FBI, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. Mike Lindell of MyPillow fame.
Bro, if you lost Mike Lindell, this guy went to war for Donald. He did. Bro, this guy... This is insane. To lose him, like, that's wrong, bro. That he lost Cat Turd?
Cat Turd.
I think that might even be worse. That's really bad. I work in a field where I redact stuff all the time. You absolutely can redact names and info that lead to identifying victims that lead other stuff in. Maybe that's the case, maybe not.
On X, as trusted voices like Bongino, Kash, and Bondi align with the official story, many are asking who's still willing to demand real answers. Laura Loomer, who I only cite because apparently she has influence with President Trump.
Yes, people fired.
She got National Security Council people fired. She posted, if Attorney General Bondi doesn't get fired over this Epstein memo, people are going to be so black-pilled.
Fucking based.
Yup.
You can't say that you had it on your desk. You can't say that you had the bullets in the chamber and then not fire the gun. Bullshit. Absolutely. And also, why is it that we haven't gone after all these people that are making these crazy statements online about shooting Trump or burning down Teslas? Like, why are they not talking about that? They're not going after any of these people. It's I don't know what the fuck she's doing, but it certainly doesn't seem like working to me.
Yeah.
They were obviously hoping for a different.
Not at
This
all.
is crazy.
I find it hard to believe that we still don't know so much about this case.
Yeah, and I don't think the conspiracy theories are ever going to stop. But big picture, this is sort of what happens when you have the MAGA influencerization of the DOJ and the FBI, right? You put Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, who before going into the FBI were MAGA influencers.
Talking about this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now they come in and there are high expectations.
This was a massive thing. It was a gigantic thing.
They were going to deliver. They came up empty-handed, and so there's a lot of
Yeah, they
anger
did.
about that. And the MAGA universe is not happy today.
Well, after months of teasing the release of new information about the accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein and his alleged client list, the Justice Department, well, they're now saying that no evidence or such a list actually existed, or that Epstein was murdered. The DOJ saying it does not plan to release any new documents on the matter, and writing today in a memo, quote, there was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged parties. Joining me now is CNN Senior Justice Correspondent Evan Perez and CNN legal analyst Elliot Williams. Evan,
So you have tens of thousands of videos, but you can't identify a single person in those videos? None of them.
Nope.
What are the odds? It's supposedly CP? That's not what I said. Do you really think that nobody has ever looked at that stuff to find out and figure out who the fuck does this? I understand this is a very, very dark conversation. But there are absolutely investigative units that go through stuff like that as a necessary action in order to find the people that did it.
Yep.
They do it. Why isn't it happening? Why would they screen record the adult? Why would they screen record it to begin with?
you've reported on this for, I think, years on some level now. Tell us how this memo kind of came to be, how this case became such a fixation.
Well, the case became a fixation in part because the Attorney General and other people around President Trump have fanned the flames of this conspiracy, that there was some bombshell hidden in these Epstein documents. And everyone has known, certainly a lot of the documents that the Justice Department has been looking at, they've been out in public already for years, because you remember some of his co-defendants went on trial after his 2019 suicide. So this is no surprise to anyone who's been paying attention, but for people inside the Justice Department who certainly encourage...
I think people have already been working backwards and come to have already made a conclusion. Yeah. If it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it looks like a duck. People spend months telling you, boys, let me tell you something about that animal. That's a motherfucking duck. And then after fucking 3 years, they go, guys, it turns out it was a fucking pelican. Can you believe that? Wow, who would have guessed? Damn, it was actually a dog. It's a chicken.
This kind of belief out there, they're now having to admit that there's really no there there. And you see in the memo, it says a systematic review.
Somebody says the amount of people who don't care about this are greater than the ones who do. Let's see if this affects his poll numbers. I think that a lot of people view this like, and this is the issue, is that Donald Trump has been attacked for a lot of things that I think are bullshit. Like, for example, like him, oh, Donald Trump used an anti-Semitic slur. He called somebody a Shylock. That means he hates Jews. Just, no, stop. Stop. And there's been so much Donald Trump being a bad guy alarmism that I think that people just reflexively defend him. Because so much of it is bullshit. This isn't bullshit. This is real.
Revealed no incriminating client list. There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions, or that he was murdered. Again, all of these things were known. It's just that there was a certain part of the internet, and certainly on Twitter, a lot of MAGA believers who...
I hate how he's trying to compartmentalize this onto the internet, which is like, it's partially true. I mean, to be fair, he's kind of right. But I do think that he's trying to downplay it as well. I also think, I'm going to go even farther, that I think that the ownership of these large media companies, it is also in their best interest to cover this in a way that is dismissive. I do. I think it's in their best interest.
Believed that there was something here that was being hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and look, the White House, I think on some level, was active participants at some elements of those corners of the internet. What did the White House say about this case earlier today?
Well, today they had to react to the fact that just a couple months ago, the Attorney General on Fox News seemed to indicate that there was a client list sitting on her desk, and now what they're saying, what she's referring to is just that she was looking at the larger number of documents.
Well, she answered the question wrong then. It's that simple. Somebody asked, is there a list? And she says, yeah, it's on my desk. Okay, well then, oh, I wasn't talking about a list? Okay, well then you said the wrong thing.
Are out there.
It's that simple.
Again, they held an event at the White House where they brought in all the MAGA influencers to look at these binders, which ended up being documents that had been on the internet and had been available publicly for years.
Elliot, before I ask you a question, I want to play that sound that Evan was just talking about. Take a listen.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
Right there.
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Elliot, you used to work for the Justice.
Whoa, but how do you know it? How do you know they have the list if you haven't even seen the list?
Department, an Attorney General saying that, and then a memo like this coming into the public sphere.
The file was on her desk? That's not what they said.
It's embarrassing what happened.
It is embarrassing.
Look, the Attorney General, this is to Evan's point a moment ago, sort of fanned the flames of these truly bonkers, I won't say the full word, conspiracy theories that have been allowed to infiltrate not just American life, but also the government at the highest levels. There are basic facts here that we ought to accept. Number one, Jeffrey Epstein did really bad things to many people. And number two, Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in prison before he could face trial. Those are facts. That is truth. Any suggestion to the contrary is simply not held by serious people. And the Attorney General herself.
Okay, fine. What about all the other people in the island? What about all that?
Quite frankly, is responsible for allowing some of this nonsense to get out there. Now, thankfully, the Justice Department has put this memorandum out there, but this is just a bad look for the Justice Department. It's actually quite shameful.
Elliot, is it normal for DOJ?
In my opinion, this might be unpopular, but I don't think that it's that big of a deal if Jeffrey Epstein killed himself or not. It's not. Because the real thing is about whether there were other people implicated in this or not.
Exactly. That's the whole point, because he's already dead.
Killing or not killing himself is an indication of something that's much larger. So it's like, in a way, it's like an indication of that, but it is not that in itself.
To release a memo like this?
It really isn't, Phil, only because...
It's a big deal? Well, it's a big deal for what it means, but not what it is in itself.
what the memorandum is really pushing back
is that a weird
conspiracy theories. It's not
a weird way to say
explaining why someone wasn't charged with a crime, or explaining why someone was charged with a crime, or explaining the facts of the case. It is merely put out there to debunk some of this nonsense that the Attorney General actually helped fan the flames up by handing these memos out, these binders out at the White House and so on. So no, it is not common at all. Certainly the Justice Department makes public statements all the time. They make public statements to our reporters like Evan Perez, and that's fine. But pushing back on conspiracy theories is not a core competency of any member of the Justice Department, and quite frankly, it should not be.
Evan, real quick before I let you go, any repercussions for the Attorney General on this?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can see people on the right, including Lara Loomer.
They already have repercussions. It damaged their entire credibility. Like, this was probably because, and let me let it finish.
This is a big thing for me.
This is not over because the fact that these documents are not out means that these conspiracies will live on.
That's correct. Not yet. And so anyway, why is Ghislaine Maxwell in jail then? Well, because she could have trafficked people to Jeffrey Epstein himself, right? I mean, like, to be fair, like, there is an answer to that. But at the same time, I just can't see how you can't get her to talk and explain who else it was. And anyways, the movie is all the Aussie fake. Yeah, so this is the big reason why it's so damaging for Donald Trump. The reason why this is so damaging for Jeffrey Epstein, for this story not to get released, is because Donald Trump was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. That's the main reason why people are flipping out about it. It's because there are photos of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein together over the course of over 10 years.
Yeah.
So Elon's old tweet is also, well, yeah, well, that's not the point, right? It's much more than that. So yeah, best friends for a decade. I'm not going to say best friends, but they were it seems like they were very good friends. And that being said, there are way too many coincidences. Yes, there are way too many coincidences for this. And so, yeah, the same way you and Rich were friends. They're not close friends for life or anything. Yeah, no, definitely. But like over 10 years and then him making comments about, Jeffrey Epstein's like preferences in women, like it's just, again, and also, by the way, I didn't try to hide that or turn it into something that it wasn't. So it's a very different situation. So it's a very big difference there. And I think that's where the frustration from this is really coming from. That's where a lot of people are very mad about, is that and if it had been some other random ass person, I don't think anybody would have really cared about this. But the big issue more than anything else is the fact that it was, what do you call it? The fact that Trump had such a close connection to Jeffrey Epstein. I think that's what really makes him look bad in this more than anything else. So yeah, you're stretching and speculating? Absolutely I am. Duh. What the fuck do you think we're doing? Yeah, obviously we're speculating. Everybody is. Yeah, and that's what makes the political. Yeah, do you think this is some kind of like a fucking like, I gotcha, you're just speculating, it's not really true? Of course it's true. It's important to speculate, yes. And that's the reason why people aren't trusting it. I think that's what it is more than anything. And I agree with you to an extent. Being friends with someone doesn't make you a pedo. I didn't say it did, but I'm saying that whenever you were as close that Jeffrey Epstein was with Donald Trump for such a long time, and then Trump also made comments, Trump was on his jet, like, let's not act like they were just friends, right? They were, I would say they were pretty close. And for then nothing to happen, I think that's really, really fucking sus. That is extremely fucking sus. And I don't know how anybody can say that it's not.
Fuck. Let's be honest here. You get nothing out of all that? Some grade A BS.
Here are the 10 alleged members of the North Texas Antifa terror cell accused of carrying out the attempted murder of the federal officers at a shooting terrorist attack at an ICE facility on 4th of July.
Oh no, what? The hell?
All of our problems in the world are created by two groups of people. So you got a bunch of these hoes all mad, starting some terrorist bullshit. Now they all got arrested. Well, fuck them. That's what they get, man. That's what they get. Now they in jail for their whole life. All their eyes look soulless. No, the thing is, and I'll tell you the truth, is that clowns like this probably went and did this shit. Look, they're going around, they're posting all this shit on the internet. They're posting all this on the internet. How are they posting this on the internet? I'll tell you how they're doing it. Is because that nothing happens. Because you got the government that's too fucking busy covering up the Epstein shit, and they're not going after these clowns. Bro, if you give me and my moderation team the tools of the FBI database, and I'll put all these people in jail in a week.
Federal immigration agents are facing increased threats of violence after multiple incidents in Texas this week.
This is brutal, man.
Gunmen ambush officers right outside their building.
Madeline Rivera joins us live with the details. Good morning, Maddie.
People have been popping off on these ICE agents, and I said this shit was going to happen. Didn't I say this was going to happen? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen after this. Now what's going to happen is that you're going to get stricter rules and more suppression on speech. That's the next outcome.
Good morning. The Department of Homeland Security says the number of assaults against
They're using the
ICE
immigrants
has
to do
increased
this
significantly, and there have been some high-profile incidents in just the last few days alone. Yesterday, a gunman was shot and killed after police say he started shooting at a Border Patrol annex in McAllen, Texas.
He didn't even kill anybody? Damn, bro, what a...
The suspect was identified as 27-year-old Ryan Lewis Mosqueda. The attack in McAllen came days after another violent incident in Texas just outside of Dallas. Authorities say an officer from Alvarado was shot in.
People don't understand, like, this shit is, this shit's real. It is. And I've been trying to warn about this. Really, I've been trying to warn about this.
The neck after several people opened fire on officers outside the Prairieland Detention Center.
Because his policy is what he's done politically, but his cult of personality that fractured the American people in the political system. Well, I personally would blame the people shooting the guns. I would blame the people shooting the guns personally. Who's to blame for people shooting guns? It would be the people shooting the guns. That's my viewpoint.
Is an ICE facility. The Justice Department is calling this an organized ambush, adding that some of the suspects were wearing body armor and had two-way radios. 10 people were charged. DHS tells Fox assaults against ICE agents are up nearly 700% over the same time last year. Last year, there were 10 assaults from January to June. This year, there have been 79 assaults within the same time frame.
You're 100% right about that, but the country's fractured and I want to blame somebody. You should blame the media for doing this. And you should blame politicians, and you should blame social media companies for profiting off of it and allowing extremism and violent rhetoric to continue. Like, do you want to know how to make this stop happening? Find these people's social media accounts and then figure out whether they got reported or not. Investigate the company. Figure out if somebody at the company decided not to ban them. If that person decided not to ban them, then you hold that person as an accessory for murder. That's how you do it. That would stop immediately. I know it sounds crazy, but I am the kind of person, my solution to almost all problems are immediate. That is crazy. You can call me crazy.
It does solve the problem.
It would work.
I've been warning about this for 2 months. The ramped up rhetoric is going to cause a situation where someone loses their life. We saw that today. I was hoping I'd be wrong, but I wasn't. And I'll tell you something else. It's not the end. Unless we stop the hateful rhetoric against ICE and Border Patrol, comparing them to Nazis, there's going to be more situations like that.
That's right.
The attacks in Texas remain under investigation, and officials say anyone involved in attacking law enforcement will be prosecuted to the
It's not enough.
fullest extent. Griff, Emily,
you have to stop the propagators, because the people that go out and do this stuff are generally just like your you're run-of-the-mill, disaffected, mentally ill, sidelined social reject retard. Like, that's not really a big deal. Like, you're gonna have people like that. You have to stop the people where it's coming from. Accountability is lacking. So how about corporal punishment like Singapore? Oh yeah, no, I definitely support that for sure.
As they should. Matty Rivera, thank you very much.
You know, the thing to remember here is that these ICE agents, they are doing exactly what elected legislators are ordering them to do. They are enforcing the laws that have been duly enacted by the legislature. And Democrats spend a lot of time talking about law and order. And the idea that these people are paying the price for enforcing the laws that Democrats helped put on the books is unconscionable. And I think we're at a position right now.
Well, they just lost the vote. I mean, sometimes you lose the vote. Things don't go your way. That's the way it goes. That's life.
Where, Democrat lawmakers have allowed this problem to metastasize, and they don't know how to control what they've created. And so you have these scenes like the one we saw yesterday where you have Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, marching out into the streets trying to interfere with ICE operations. And at some point, an adult in the Democrat Party is going to have to stand up and say, we do not stand for this.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, the threat.
No, that's not going to work. It won't work. You have to arrest them. You have to arrest them for conspiracy. Because until you stop people from doing it at the beginning, it's going to keep happening. Like, basically, all they're doing is reacting to problems, and what they need to do is be proactive to problems.
Environment against federal
she's a
law
retard.
enforcement
What do you expect?
has possibly never been higher than right now. Now, why is that?
2020 was
It's
worse,
because the rhetoric of the Democrats are not coming down. Do you have Hakeem Jeffries in Washington, the leader of the Democrats in the House of Representatives, likening ICE to Nazis? You've got Karen Bass.
Here's another thing that's going to happen. This is going to be a bonus event, is that you're going to have right-wing people that are going to start killing these Democrats too. They're going to see somebody like Kyle Rittenhouse and be like, oh, I'm going to go do that myself. And like, that's what's going to start happening, because like, and this is the thing, is like, these people think that like they have a monopoly on violence. No, they don't. I mean, a lot of right-wing people have guns. They better not. No, I mean, it already happened. I don't think they'll ever do anything. I think so. Like Luigi, kind of, yeah. Bro, stop slandering Rittenhouse. Slandering? I'm saying that he went out and he killed people that were causing. I support Kyle Rittenhouse. Yeah, I totally support him. I think what he did was great. Those people are parasites. Didn't he just like randomly shot one of the guys? Wasn't one of the guys a pedo? Who cares? Kyle W. I don't care about that at all. The thing, like, that's his example. Like, what I'm using is but that's my whole point, though, right? Is that he shot those guys, and everybody saw him as the good guy. They saw him as the good guy. Most people did.
In California, you've also got in San Diego a city councilman a month ago.
I understand some people, yeah, but it was self-defense. People aren't going to see it. You think like you think. You can't think like a crazy person thinks. I can. At the end of the day, this guy did something really bad, and he got props for it. That's the only way that people like that are going to break it down. That's the reason.
Calling, writing terrorist over ICE enforcement officers, saying, the community should fight back. You've got a member of Congress getting arrested at Newark. I mean, it's almost as if they're choosing that as a playbook to double down. I thought it was interesting. Axios had a piece talking to unnamed sources who are Democrats, saying that they want to pretty much just keep ramping it up and double down on that card. Here's a little bit of what they found out about this anti-Trump, anti-ICE resistance, and Axios Democrats telling people to get shot for this. Here's the quote. The grassroots wants more. Some of them have suggested what we really need to do is be willing to get shot when visiting ICE facilities or federal agencies. What? A third House Democrat told Axios.
You just need to get shot.
Every single time.
believable. Here was White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt yesterday responding to that.
It's hard to believe anyone with morals in this country or decency would say such a thing. Obviously, the White House condemns that rhetoric, and we condemn violence of any kind. This administration is simply trying to enforce our laws, and we must be a nation of law and order. You cannot simply waltz across our border and live here illegally and expect to stay.
Yep.
We are going to enforce our nation's laws, and the men and women who are doing that are doing so in a respectful way. They are doing so within the confines of the law, and they are just trying to do their jobs. And we condemn any violence or any calls for violence of any kind against any American.
You know, in the press,
it should be that simple, but for them it's not. And the reason why is because they want to use terrorism in order to force people into believing what they think. They already lost the intellectual war on social media because social media is no longer curated and censored on their behalf. And so what they've resorted to instead of that is being violent. That's it. They want the Patriot Act Part 2. I'm telling you.
Secretary speaks. It is so clear and concise and in such stark
Take a nap
contrast
after
to those
that
Democratic legislators who are responsible for much of the legislation that is being
Good
enforced,
job.
that with such mealy-mouthed and upticked rhetoric advocate for violence. And they use this hyperbolic speech that has zero place in our society right now, likening ICE to fascism, likening the president to Hitler, and worse. And they also are, I mean, I'll say they aren't even subtle about it. I mean, they are calling actively.
Yeah, they go out and they say this themselves. And so if they're not subtle about it and everybody sees it and everybody knows it, then why are they getting away with it? That's really the problem. That's the problem. The problem is in plain sight, but nobody wants to address it.
To dox ICE agents. They are cheering that app that will obstruct justice and render vulnerable.
You don't see anything wrong with masks and plain clothes? No, not really. I mean, as long as they're actual official agents, yeah, sure, I'd be fine with that. There's plenty of undercover police officers. They do that all the time. Like, you're acting like, no, I don't see a problem with it at all. Absolutely not.
The ICE agents even more. How far will they go? I mean, you read it just then. They want to get shot because they are only about performative stunts for their elite petri dish that is so insular, and they have no idea what real Americans go through, which is their loved ones are out.
How do you differentiate? So 3 people have asked that question. You're not responsible for differentiating. You're not. The people who are responsible are the police. So if you feel like something like this is happening in your area, and you're worried about it happening, then you should call the police, dial 911 and say, hey, there are a bunch of masked men here that are abducting people. Please get over here real quick. And if it's a problem and it's not, an agency, then the police will go over there, right? I mean, obviously, that's what, like, the entire idea that, like, you being able to differentiate implies that, like, you're going to stop them in the first place. You can't go and stop them and do that. That's crazy.
Their loved ones are ICE agents. ICE agents are part of the community. They are part of the fabric of American existence, and we support and respect and cherish them. And this all-out assault on them, it has to stop before it gets worse.
And of course, the crimes that the ICE agents are trying to prevent by removing criminal aliens from our midst.
Yeah, I was a witness to an undercover operation where plainclothes cops stopped the murderer on the run, legging it away in a crowded town. They have the element of surprise to get closer to the criminals to apprehend them. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why, like, this entire idea of plainclothes officers wearing masks is somehow like now everybody's acting like it's this existential threat. When how many movies have we watched where it's people that are infiltrating areas and trying to get into, like, different places, and it's a cop movie and they're not dressed up like police officers? It's nothing new. It's been going on forever. Obviously, that's what you would do. Rush hour? Yeah, like, there's nothing new about this. It's not some sort of new issue at all.
Are happening in the neighborhoods where those people live.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are paying the brunt of it.
You put a really important point, though, on something, Emily, and that is the human aspect. Can you imagine being the spouse of an ICE officer or Border Patrol agent, or the daughter or the son, knowing that this is what they're walking out in. The attack in Alvarado, Texas, 10 individuals have now been charged with attempted murder of a federal officer because 20 to 30 rounds from an AK-47 or assault rifle of some sort was fired at officers.
And they didn't hit a single person? What a fucking retard. Oh my God. What a moron. Jesus.
They had bulletproof vests, they had body armor, and you know, we're at a point now where there should be bipartisan calls to tone it down, yet there isn't.
I'm Steve Doocy. I thought they missed everything. Oh fuck. Yeah, that's awful then. Yeah, AK is wildly inaccurate. Is that true, or is that just in video games? Like, I don't even know if that's true or not. There's the video. One officer got shot in the knee.
I overthought everything and forgot that I'd even
I think this is a huge issue. I really do. I've been a very big advocate against this kind of stuff for a while. And I do really think that at a certain point, people like this do need to be held accountable. But right now, it seems like it's impossible for that to happen because so many people are, I don't know, they're afraid of the optics of it or something like that. I don't know what to say. There we go. Cartel said that they don't care and they'll just wait until Trump is out of the White House. Well, yeah, of course. Like, they don't want to deal with him. Like, of course not. Why would they? How would you solve the political divide? It's simple. You find the people that are expressing violent rhetoric and then you just put them in jail. It's simple. Like, you find them and that's the first way to do it. Is that you put the people that are pushing it in jail, you get rid of them. And yeah, you remove the well, it's not even agitators. Like, I'm not even talking about agitators. I'm talking about like people that are like advocating.
You can one-shot this guy though.
Like, I'm not saying like, oh, if you think ICE is like bad, then like you should go to jail. No, but the people that are advocating for like shooting them, guns and everything like that, I think that's a big issue though.
Damn right it is. All right, let's see what else we got here.
Techno's like the Bushwhacker brothers in WWE. People. Just rolls into the internet drama, flailing his arms till he makes contact.
So personally fucking offended.
All right, let's talk about victims, and then let's talk about people's dads, Destiny. What's crazy is you want to bring up my dad, but what's crazy is you look like a guy who doesn't even know his dad. And your son probably also wishes that he didn't know his dad. Because you want to talk about victims. Brother, I got thousands of victims in my chat where all of our eyes were sexually assaulted by your ass when we all saw you sucking a dick on Twitter. Brother, there's not enough bleach in the world to get me to forget about that fucking goatee going down on that sloppy toppy. Ain't nobody want to see that shit. And the worst thing is, cum foot fetish? Come on, man. Come on. Like, let's chill.
Bro, that's
and Destiny,
rough.
listen, brother. I don't want to have issues with you, man. I'll be real, bro. I still like the way you debate. I still like the way you conduct yourself. I have no want to sit here and have then I'm going to take a shot at him, and then he's going to take a shot at me. I have no issues with you, bro.
Yeah.
I don't. I really don't. I mean, yeah, I think you're being gay as fuck, right? But who cares? The problem is, Destiny, is that I know you and Dan Saltman are good buddies, and I really like Dan. I really don't want to have any issues with my boy's boy, right? So just like, you know what I mean? Just ease up a little bit. Let's all relax. I don't know what crisis you're going through right now, but it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. Now, if you want to give me a daily clip where you say, oh, did you hear about his dad? Oh, did you hear about the allegations? Did you hear that he played Genshin Impact? Go ahead.
What?
I guess I can preemptively make a bingo card and say, what is the streamer going to say about me? But
I don't know why people keep trying to bring up his dad, as if like it's his fault that his dad did something.
Oh, what you're not going to say?
It's so weird.
Anything bad that I actually did.
Yeah.
That's why I don't care.
This is a crazy drama.
What is that, bro? Why even get into that? Yeah, I don't understand it at all. People live for this type of drama? Yeah, I do think this shit's funny. It is very fucking funny.
It is hilarious.
And, oh my God, bro, like, his techno, they've been getting mad recently. Oh my God. Ad hominem? I guess so. They be doing the apple don't fall far from the tree thing. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I feel like that's a bit much, bro. Like that's a little bit much, isn't it? Jesus.
Keep proving my point, Ms. Kids. Y'all are a cancer and need to move on. Honestly, true. You're pathetic gossiping about your friend and org teammate like that is sad. Yeah, I don't really think anybody's actually friends with Miz, to be honest. Yeah, it's at least not in 2025. Yeah, I don't really know anybody. Yeah, that's okay though. It doesn't matter. But I do like how people always say, "Hey, nice what you're saying about your friend." I want to make this very clear. Like, I'm not friends with him at all. I tried. It didn't work like 3 years ago. But yeah, I like friends who treat me well. Right? That's pretty much it.
I know. You guys don't know. Yet. Oh man, I guarantee you, bro, like they've been crashing out on each other for a while. People are gonna be saying some shit about each other in a bit. I will say this. If any of these guys drop receipts on each other and anybody lies or misrepresents anything, I will be there to correct the record. That's all I'm going to say. If anybody starts saying anything, I will be there.
Sounds hilarious.
So,
and I'll be right here watching.
Fight. No below the belt shots, no lying, nothing like that. And yeah, and so we gotta, yeah, I gotta be. Listen, somebody gotta do it, right? And so that's it. But the Mad Prophet Asmongold. Well, the thing is that Keely tell us a few hours advance. I have a meal ready. No, this is gonna go on for like a month. Okay. Minimum. Whenever they start talking about each other. That's what Ted can't moderate this. No. And by the way, when it happens, I want to let everybody involved know I'm not involved with this shit anymore. You're going on a video.
That bot fucking wait.
It's gonna be a video. You might not like it, but it's gonna be a video. People are getting farmed, bro. Like, stay out of the drama, in my opinion. Well, this is I have my opinion on it, but I'm not going to share anything or say anything until somebody else does. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be the neutral third party, and all I'm going to do is make sure that nobody lies. That's all. There will be no lies.
No lying allowed.
Pussy? No, it's not that. Do you want to know the real reason why I'm not getting involved? It's because I've never had any trouble with anybody ever. That's the reason why. Like, I don't have issues with people. I don't get into problems. Like, anybody that's known me for like my whole life would know. They would say straight up, like, I don't get in fight. Yeah. Cody, no, yeah, I don't Cody 20-25 years. Like, when the fuck I ever get in fights with people, arguments with people, like fucking, vendettas with people, bro? Like, I didn't do that in middle school. I didn't do that shit in high school. Like, it never, bro. Like, I never seen you argue with anyone. This is true. Never just come retarded. Yeah, a little bit, right? And so this is the real reason why I'm not gonna go and say anything until other people do, is because. It's because it's not my story. It's not my. Didn't happen to me. Like, it's not like as much as I want to farm other people's drama, I know that I will look like an asshole, and this is the most important thing, is it's all about me. I'll just look like an asshole.
A lot of people don't give that much of a fuck. And that's why I think the internet is so fucking gay for trying to bait Donut into drama off of nothing. It was embarrassing, and I'll be real. Okay, yes, did Donut call NMP gay? Yes. Are we gonna act like everybody in OTK don't be saying that shit regardless off stream?
I've never said the homophobic F word. I've never said the N word. I've never said any racial slur ever. I've never said this. Not at all. Today. I haven't.
Some of y'all even say that shit on stream. Like, are we really gonna get upset at the quote unquote F slur? I mean, shit, I said that shit 3 days ago on stream. NMP, you're not gay. You don't get to be offended at that shit. Okay, let's relax. It's a fucking non-issue, guys.
It's a nobody. I think that we are very past the time of giving a shit about the words that people say. There was a lot of performative outrage with that for a number of years.
Yep.
I think we're done with that.
I hope so.
I don't think that... I honestly, this is really how I feel about it. I don't think anybody ever actually cared. And the only reason that people pretend to care is because they didn't want to get banned on social media platforms, and they wanted to retain sponsorships and make money. That's the only real reason. It's not because people really cared about the damage that this word would do or something like that. No. People don't give a shit about that. Or words have as much power as you give them. Yeah, I mean, again, I think that if you're going around saying things that are mean to people on purpose, you're a piece of shit. But you don't need to use a slur to do that. You can be an asshole by just using normal words. That's it. So, I mean, that's how I see virtue points. Yes. And I'm so glad that this economy of pretending to care about the words that people are saying is finally, going into a recession. Thank fucking God. It's so performative. Nobody really cares. Also, by the way, Tectone is completely right. The way that most people, including a lot of streamers, talk off stream is not the way that you're supposed to talk on stream. That's the way it is. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
That's because of rules and regulations.
Yes. So don't listen to any of those people getting, oh no, this might be said or whatever. It's all bullshit. Tones everything. Yeah. I think Trump's responsible for people not giving a fuck anymore. Yeah, definitely. It's all because of advertising. Yes. What are the odds that all of these companies suddenly started caring about these speech policing rules at the exact same time that advertising was introduced onto the platform? Like, what do you think the probability of that is? Oh, that's right. 0. They're doing it all for money. The moment that you take money off the table, you're going to have people using the exact words that we used to use growing up constantly. I can guarantee you guys, I can promise you, oh my God, I can bet $1 million on it. So you guys are in for some good times. If you like drama, you're in for some good times pretty soon. So yeah. And I will be there to react, correct the record, and farm it all for content.
Yeah. See what else we got. That's it for the news segment of this video.
I got all my soldiers on the need to know. Once I get a green, we all on beast mode.
Alright, let's see what we got. Bad start. Good. Getting fucked. There it is.